Okay, we're going on to part four here about the series, and we're at a crucial point. We're talking about American Indians and how they had migrated into the Americas, but whenever Americans of today migrated into the Americas, oh, that's bad. But whenever they came, they probably killed off some people too. And looking at genetics and things and recent archaeological finds, it was Caucasians that came to Americas before the Amerindians even came. So now maybe we can understand those red-haired giants and things and how much guilt. It's amazing whenever they want to bring up racism about whites, they always want to throw in slavery and what happened to the Indians. Well, slavery was caused by blacks capturing and selling their own kind off as unwanted, like a drive-through slave mart, and the American Indians died of a smallpox epidemic that ran through them due to the fact that the blacks that came to America had an epidemic of it and it broke out into the local population. It's easier to see that causing the effect than the American Caucasians who had already been through it and weren't actually actively exposed. But let's look into the discognizance of this and see if we can get through this a little bit quicker here as we try to finish off the series on what people's thoughts are on racism in America. Again, this is back in 2008, probably filmed in 2007. Let's continue.
They were here. This was their land. I'm not sure how they got here or if they fought anyone.
Okay, so the American Indians got here, doesn't know how and if they fought anyone, but he knows how the Caucasians got here and what happened off of it, and that makes bad white men? No, no, not necessarily. That's just the way things played out, and America is Caucasian society. It won't be changing, and you can't go around yapping and crying and make it change because it won't. Let's continue.
What would you say to somebody who said every founding citizen of the United States of America was white?
Oh no.
I think that's a tough one.
Why would it be a tough one whenever we the people were all Caucasians, they were all Christians, and they didn't want anybody but that in the land of America? Sure, some ideals got changed along the way a little bit and what they would wind up allowing in, but that doesn't change anything in any way, shape, or form as to who the founders actually were and their ideals. Let's continue.
What would you call a nation where every single citizen was white and where immigration was restricted to white Christians? Would that be a white nation? Why does this matter? Are we a white nation any longer? Once again, because of the disconnect, because of the anti-white bias that lies within the conventional wisdom on racism. Once again, if you accept the fact that America was founded as a white nation, then you must also accept the fact that her founding principles, which separate America from all other nations, were also developed by white men, not by a multicultural rainbow.
Oh no. And the reason for its success is not because of the small percentage of ethnics that are here. Nay, the spacemen did this on their own. Let's continue.
And this fact drives the believers crazy. You see, it's okay to blame whites as a race for fuzzy historical discriminations, but it's a cardinal sin to credit whites as a race with anything.
And we do mean anything, like heralding mankind, coming up with language, speech, math, the wheel, farming, cattle, everything that people live off in the world today all came through Caucasian societies. But third worlders who didn't do nothing really like to be mad about it, yip, and see if they can ruin your thing. It's pretty disgusting when they try to ruin it from within. Whenever they're part of that country too, it's really pathetic. Let's continue.
Your forefathers came over and they did their dirty deed and took most of the land, deceived most of the people, and the rest they killed.
Wow. Okay, did they come over and do their dirty deed? And are you currently doing a dirty deed by being a racist towards the people that are trying to help your people not be such a primitive people? What a dirty deed Negroes do to themselves in America while they're trying to hate on white people that are spacemen now. It's kind of disgusting, and by kind of, I mean quite a bit. Let's continue.
Now, this is fascinating. Paul has absolutely no problem saying to my face, rather forcefully, that my forefathers came here and did their dirty deed. Now, the fact that he's completely wrong is so easily overlooked by today's believers, and I'll get back to that in a minute. But what is telling is that Paul has absolutely no problem with assigning collective racial guilt to all white people for presumably the way the American colonists treated the Indians. Can you see the contradiction? It's acceptable today to assign collective racial guilt to all whites for the actions of a minute fraction of them hundreds of years ago. Would it be acceptable today to assign collective racial guilt to any other races, for example, to blacks, let's say for the crimes that they themselves committed in this decade alone?
Or maybe the fact that they're not part of the Bible, are part of Egypt, but they're running around rampantly mad, trying to tell everybody that they are the Egyptians, which were Caucasians, and it's been so validly proven that they are the Hebrews of the Bible. Not that they were even a partial, perhaps even some Hamite lie, but no, it's just their book. They'll stand around on clown suits and shrink quarters and tell you so. Is any of that by blacks' own racist, lying, covetous, non-biblical hands? Are they causing their own problem and can't find a mirror? Is it disgusting to watch them mimic Caucasians in everything they do, but then yap and be mad at them? Want to take all their stuff because they like it, but then try to yap and say it's not cool? How does this all work for the Negro mentality? Let's continue.
Well, no, that would be racism.
Oh,
Get the picture?
yes.
And just
do.
to clarify, I can trace my earliest ancestors here in America to the 1870s, after our Civil War. No forefather of mine ever killed an Indian or owned another human being, ever. And
Amazing part to note about all this is that only 1.6% of Americans ever owned slaves at the height of slavery. Another interesting fact is that a lot of those were previously freed black men that also owned more black slaves. Yes, let's not lie. And then a lot of the ones that are left over of that remainder would be these Jewish slave masters we've been talking about that started this slave trade. And so 1% did something one time, and now every white person that ever exists have to be cuckolded, and oh my God, no. Actually, the fact that we run, rule, and lead the world and are spacemen now should not be messed with. It's pathetic to try to mess with it. Yap, the Mankey gets you nowhere. It's disgusting. It shows you your mentality and the fact that you're getting nowhere in one fell swoop. It's pathetic. Let's continue.
I'll suggest that there's a large group of white Americans just like me in that respect. We have no blood relatives that ever practiced ethnic cleansing or slavery, yet so many seek to blame us for it. They seek to blame us for crimes our forefathers never even committed, and yet excuse and ignore other racial groups where crime is rampant today.
Notice the disconnect there. It's almost like they try to justify the fact that they run around doing apeshit stuff, raping women to the tune of over 100 a day, 37,000 inside of a year, compared to 10. You saw the stat. And yet, that's to justify because what I feel about what happened once a long time ago justifies me acting the way I do now. Do you see that? Do you see the way acting the way they do now is not an advanced way of acting? It's a crutch of hate. It's in no way trying to go, well, Irish got over it. We can get over it too. We can get over it. No, there's not even an attempt to get over it. It's give me my crutch. Give me my crutch. Now I'm going to whine, and I'm going to hate whine. I'm going to hate and whine. my way through life lying and saying I'm part of the Bible or Egypt or what else goes on with these people. It's incredibly disgusting. Meanwhile, spacemen are trying to lead mankind on further and further and have found new things in medicines and life, and black people aren't really doing anything on those fronts in any way, shape, or form. What they're doing is defining the way that they hate white people. Let's continue.
Huh? But
Yeah.
I digress. When we talk about Europeans stealing the Indians' land, I have to ask, which Indians are we talking about? White people aren't the only people who killed folks for their land.
Never. Did Indians ever kill
Did
each
they
other?
fight among each other tribes?
Oh, amongst each other, yes.
Did they ever try to wipe out whole other tribes?
I'm pretty sure they did.
The American Indians did fight amongst themselves.
Did they ever commit genocide amongst themselves?
Absolutely. You know, there were warring nations and there were peaceful nations.
It wasn't an equal playing field. And what I mean by that is, so when the Indians were conflicting with each other, when the tribes were conflicting with each other, they had similar ways of fighting each other. Bows and arrows, spears, fighting, rocks, you know, whatever. And then white folks came across and they had different types of technology.
Do I think that Indians kill each other for land?
Is technology racist? Is the fact that one people are more advanced than the other any way, a shape or form, or an indication of some people's perhaps, dare I say the word, superiority over other type of people who may not be quite as advanced? You just look and you go, well, this guy's about a fourth grader and these people are college kids. And so I can't lie. Now the potential is here for that fourth grader to end up becoming a college kid too, of course. But whenever they meet each other, one of them is dead and the other one is a spaceman, or about to be a spaceman shortly. So we're not going to disconnect those two ideas and try to go, oh, a teepee's the same as a Roman Colosseum. And right. Let's continue.
Before they arrived, I believe that yes, that the different tribes fought back and forth.
Yes, they fought back and forth. They killed each other off, and they showed up here. They were a migrant just like we were. The only difference is we're the ones that came last and defeated everything. And it won't change after that. She's trying desperately to find a way that she can white guilt herself into this. You say, let me see if I can think of a way that makes it my bad. That not my great, but I'm bad. See, I got blonde hair, I'm bad. It's pathetic.
But it's different, and I'm trying to explain how it's different.
Trying desperately to find how it would be different, that Indians had no continuity running back and forth over, and then, oh, it's because it's white people. If it was in one group of Indians that did it to the other ones, then everybody'd go, look at them Indians. But, you know, in Africa, the Nigerians did it and everything, look at them Nigerians. But then if there's white people, oh, well, cuckle ruin. Oh, we had sticks and they had guns. Well, there's a reason for that. Let's not forget it. Let's continue.
Here's the difference. Believers apply one set of standards to whites and another set of standards to everyone else. Isn't what the Caucasians did to the Indians the same things what the Indians did themselves?
Yeah. They give them a taste of their own medicine.
Oh, wow. So inside of a small few-minute conversation, perhaps this guy, a somewhat Mexican descendant, who claims Indianish type heritage quite often, realized that, oh wait, it's the same, and then, so it really has no bearing except for it was just white people. He disconnects himself for a moment and smiles and nods. You can easily see the rationale all of a sudden come to fruition. Let's continue.
Look, every racial group, ethnic group, just about any other group you can think of today has advocates. Every group, that is, except white people.
Why is that?
Don't believe me? Go to any university today and count the classes and approved organizations dedicated to the advancement of specific races or ethnic groups. You'll find thousands. each dedicated to their own race, except, that is, any groups dedicated to white advocacy. There are none. And that...
Uh-oh, white bad. Oh yeah, Evergreen College and all the BS that went on last year and the year before. People are seeing this. Oh, the white kids that came out and started intimidating the Indian. No, the white kids were being intimidated by those Hebrew Israelite, fake Negro, non-biblical idiots throwing a fit. Oh, watch the whole video. Yeah. And then an Indian decided he would get in on the hate whitey thing too and walk right up into the white person's face and start beating a drum in his face. Disgustingly. And someone tried to turn it into a white problem again, didn't they? Wow, how pathetic.
That's a major disconnect. I mean, let's break it down. Hispanics can be pro-Hispanic without being anti-anybody. Jews can be pro-Jewish without being anti-anybody. Blacks can be pro-black without being anti-anybody.
No, they can't. No, the only way for a black to try to do it is to anti on everybody. You can see it definitely. It's a little bit different in the black community where all they want to do is try to put other people down in some way to try to make them feel lifted up. See, if they drag you down, then they're not so low. No, they are. In fact, they're trying to drag you down, and it shows you how low they are, and they make themselves lower by trying to have this type of mentality. Oh, white men bad. Oh, black man fantastic. Where's that mirror at?
But with whites, it's different. White people cannot be pro-white without being anti-everybody else.
Huh, how's that
And
work?
that's a large disconnect.
Yeah, I think
Can
so.
you see why I'm leery of the conventional wisdom on racism? The only positions made available to white people on the subject of our own race is indifference or supremacy.
So are there consequences to all these disconnects? How would the fact that all races are allowed advocates except whites manifest itself over time?
Do I think white people will become a minority? When I say that, I include particularly the Hispanic population. And yet I'm not, they're really, as I understand it, that's not really a race. So when we talk technically race, that's wrong. It's just that Hispanic people are a protected class. Do I think white nationalists have a point in saying enough is enough when whites are now at 66%, when our founding fathers were at 100%? I guess I don't. I don't think they have a point. I don't.
She's trying to virtue signal so much through this whole thing that it's not me. And do I think that white people should enjoy white people? Oh no, I guess not. Do I think white people that founded everything should just give it away and act like retards? I think so. I don't know. I look around, I've got glasses on, and I'm about a ditz, but I just don't want to seem racist. Let me figure out some way out of this. Oh, why don't you just speak reality? Step out of your skin for a second and go, well, these people made this country. What do you think they should do? Should they do A or B? It's that simple, but she can't do it. Let's continue.
Appreciate those organizations. But to some extent, I guess I can appreciate maybe the people's sense of loss.
But in fact, white folks are starting to be a minority now.
You think white people like that?
Yeah, but seems like it's more Mexicans than white folks out here.
Maybe someday it just means a completely blended group of people that nobody will be able to figure out what anybody is anymore.
Oh, yep. Some people are so cuckolded under and have no pride for themselves in any way that they go, well, let's just all mix it all up. My daughter's going to breed with one of those. We're just going to make sure that after about 20 more generations that there aren't people that hate each other anymore and everybody's just a smoothie cream color. No, that'll never work. You damn well know that'll never work. And it's not the ideal. And of course, if we believe in the Bible or anything in any way, shape, or form, that's definitely not the ideal of what was supposed to happen. Racial mixing was the devil. In fact, that's what it's called about through it. So in trying to do so to certain people and force it on them is trying to force on something that would be akin to the devil. It would be wrong. You have certain people on the planet, and they shouldn't be manipulated or screwed over in any way, shape, or form for trying to make the betterment of the others, for it's them that's leading it all. Are we paying attention or not?
I think that's a great thing.
I think we are yellowing America and everybody's blending, and I think that's a good thing.
He looks like
That's
a
what it
mongoloid.
is. So many different races and so many different backgrounds, and it's a good thing, something that people should accept.
It's a good thing to non-white America. Huh, well, that's a good thing for everybody that's non-white, isn't it? But yet America was founded and ran and everything by Caucasians. They got a real good idea. The world's envious of us. Let's not try to screw that up from inside and throw sugar in the gas tank and see if we can ruin the situation. Oh, see, Whitey? No, that's not the way it is. Keep pushing and somebody might see Whitey. Let's not put it to that point, people. It's disgusting. It's gotten so pathetic. Yeah, I sit around researching for years and have no idea this type of bullshit's going on, and it is the disgusting thing of the world. Let's continue.
It's not like everybody's from England, everybody's from Germany, everybody's from France. This is a melting pot.
Melting
It's
pot.
2008 now. It's time for change. America isn't just, the stereotypical Caucasian family or this and that. It's mixing bowl.
Melting pot, and I think you even said it before. We decided to do this. This was we choose. We breathe in and out. We make decisions. We chose to allow this when it started off to be not. Of course, this could be some type of cuckling thing in the begin of the cuckle, but we decided not to. Now, the original concept was you were to come to America, learn our ways, and see a different example than what you have, and then go back and fix your example if you felt like it needed to be fixed in any way. None of this was like, hey, come over here and ruin us. Hey, can you come over here and tell us what you think we're doing bad and we're going to ruin us? Hey, just come over and yap, yap, yap and be mad about us and we're going to be happy that you're here. Hey, come over and try to ruin America from the inside and, wow, let's do what you have as an idea as opposed to what we were geared for the entire time of America. Let's just drop this whole playbook and just start winging it. Let's play capture the man with a ball. No, that's not the way we're going to do this, no matter who wants it to be. Let's continue.
So let me see if I understand the position of those here illegally from Mexico. Although most belong to no one race, many unite under the banner of La Raza, or the race, in order to accuse Americans of racism.
Isn't that
just
funny?
Doesn't make any sense at all. In other words, if we object to the stated agenda of replacing whites as the racial majority in America with Hispanics, it's us who get called the racists.
Amazingly, if you saw that poster that was just there, the amazing thing about it was it showed California, how Mexicans want to invade California and try to take it over, and then we be California, we be Hollywood. You see, but what's funny about it was, if you caught it, it said, this is our land, and it said A-R-E instead of O-U-R, and it shows you the mentality of these people. We're not going to rehash what happened with Texas, the Alamo, all the crap that went from there, but it's definitely not your land in any way, shape, or form, and a wall is going up to show you that it's not your land, and then we may have to get together and get everybody in, throw them back over that damn wall again, and try to start this over. Next time you might begin with, Mr. White Man, I like you, and I'm not an idiot. Could I please come to America now? I would like to work. Let's continue.
not the people who are openly and actively working to change the racial makeup of our country. Does the word racist still seem like a good word choice?
Not really.
Or does it appear more like a tool of oppression?
Why do you think there's so many Hispanics in fast food right now?
Tell me.
Well, I think it's because a lot of them are illegal.
How is it there's so many black people in fast food right now? Why is it? It's because they got low IQ and that's about what they, conform to actually be able to do? No, I think that is illegal. Let's continue.
How do you feel about immigration from Mexico?
I think if they gonna come out here and live, they gotta abide by the laws. If they ain't gonna abide by the laws, they might as well get out of the country.
Oh, man. Somebody stick a mirror to his face real quick. No, people, no. Somebody go stick a mirror to that little kid who thinks he's too damn cool for school's face real quick.
Ooh, that's a good question. I think we got enough here. But just imagine how one America's going to be 15 years from now.
And here we are about 12 years later, and you can see the nightmare that happened. And believe me, it was going to nightmare envelope whenever Trump got into office and he stopped it. He goes, why are we importing all these people from shithole countries? Why would we do that to ourselves? Just kind of like a weird question. And everybody goes, oh, no. You have to cuckle white man, ruin white man. Come on, cuckle, ruin. He's like, oh my God, no. And then they all start running towards the border real quick like, oh my God, he's going to do something. Let's run into America illegally real quick. And you can see the problem we're having at the border with the caravans and all the nightmare that goes on. And, oh wait, were we aware that every year hundreds of thousands of illegals were coming into America every year until that year? It wasn't like, oh, this is the first happening. Please don't think that it is, people. Guess how many illegals are in America right now, and the percentage and what they do in America and what they can't do because they're not legal. And it just causes another festering from within. This black man says that it's enough. He's here and I'm cool, but you can't come. But if you can't stand up to the pressures and rigors of what it takes to be an American, maybe you can't be here. Oh, the white people can't. No, the white people will always be here. It's the white people's country. If the white people do the stupidest thing in the world, it's still their country. Never will not be. In fact, try to make it not. We are choosing to do what we have done. Now it's down to like 62, 63%. And I think we're deciding, oh no, let's take a look. Oh, this isn't a good thing. And now they're all running around trying to tell us what to do from third world countries. Whenever they beg to get in here, a not third world country thought place. We're not going to have that stupid idiocy. Oh, you know what you need to do? No, we don't know what you think we need to do, but it doesn't matter. Please stop. Thank you.
Well, I can see the potential for a lot of racial tension between blacks and Latinos. You're here bleeding our social services, you're using our hospitals, you're using this without contributing anything to our society.
Black people, you're using all of our hospitals, all of our stuff, living off of welfare without contributing much anything to society. Is there a mirror this black lady could look at real quick? Yeah, at least the Mexicans are actually working. They're doing things that blacks feel like they're above now. Let's continue.
They can come over here and don't even have to speak English.
As if what's coming out of his mouth is English.
You know what I'm saying? If we're in their country, we would have to adapt.
The people who want to come.
Oh my God, if a Negro was in a white country, he'd have to adapt? Is there a mirror for that man?
Come to America, the people who want to come to America from Mexico, my feeling is, by God, let them in, you know? Absolutely.
Let's just ruin the yip. That lady's about lost. You can see there's a few in here. Again, he says, I didn't pick and choose these. These are just what straight came out of it. I'm not hiding anything. No, there's nothing. No, you don't have to. You don't need to hide anything. Oh, by God, let them all come. Okay, they're all going to move into your neighborhood and burn down your house and rape you and kill you. And then on your last breath, you're going to be like, I think more should come. Let's continue.
We've got some people saying that we've got to open up the door and allow more in.
No, we shouldn't.
Saying that we should close the door and build a wall.
Close the door and build a wall.
And what's so bad about it, these Mexicans have more of an attitude. They're more arrogant than what a white man is.
White man isn't necessarily so arrogant. He does have a little bit of pride, but as you can tell by this whole video here, it's definitely stifled out. The people that have a false sense of pride are black people who aren't in the Bible or part of Egypt or anything along that line, haven't really done anything, and now they want to talk crap about anybody else that's trying to do anything. They don't like it because that Mexican will take that Negro's job. Also, that Mexican is vastly growing to be a vastly larger portion of the American population than the Negro by his own hands, not counting the amount of illegal Mexicans that are in here. That all adds up into that white number that's inflated due to adding in Mexicans and Spanish people as part of white America. Let's continue.
So you say that the Mexicans are more racist than the whites?
Yes, especially the ones with the big belt buckles and the reptile shoes.
Are blacks more racist than whites? The one with the yap wearing the ankh around their neck, trying to say that they were this, they were that, hate all whitey. What would you think about that, Toofus?
You know, the United States lets 250,000 immigrants come in every year. It's more than any country in the world.
Correct.
Do you think that's not enough? We're not being generous enough?
Well, I think we got too many already.
We got too many?
Well,
Too many.
If you were the immigration czar, what would you do? If you could give one order, what would it be?
I would send them back.
All 20 million.
Yeah.
Put a mirror in his face. Yeah. Oh no. What's Latino have to say?
It comes down to our rights as a U.S. citizen. Citizen.
You're not a citizen, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Oh, then you saw him. Oh my God. You saw him realize the fact of where he stands on this fence he just put up. And oh, it blew his mind. You could see his face make that gawk. Yeah, nothing's to do with you really either. You're not here legally either. Wonder how all this is working out. And what we should perhaps do about it.
If you were the president, what would you do with the 20 million illegal aliens that are here?
Oh, single don't adios. They be gone.
Oh shit, I'll get on, but the gone. That's about what I got. I don't know if you got anything out of that, but I believe the black man doesn't want any other ethnicities in here. They'd be gone.
Oh, it would be yeah, they'd be gone. Oh no.
So if he was the president, he would do something that everybody's crying for Trump just trying to slow down. Let's put that in perspective. This is only 12 years ago. But if I was the president, I would just throw him out. If I was this, if I was that, okay, now you take yourself back away from that and stand yourself. Oh, hate Whitey. Oh, hate Whitey. Oh. Here, have a mirror. Have a mirror.
Now, if I said that, I know what would happen.
Yes.
I'd get called a racist.
Oh, bad Whitey man.
So where do the believers come from? Why do so many intelligent people overlook all these disconnects on matters of race? I think I know the answer, because I used to be one. Like many others, I was trained to be a believer. I remember it well, the day I got my training on the subject of racism. I was in the 5th grade at one of many Jefferson elementary schools in the Midwest. Our teachers were Mr. Lee and Mr. Dragland. One day, they announced to the class that we were going to play a game. It was called a word association game.
Oh, kids like those.
Would write a word on the board, and we were all supposed to shout out what that word made us think of. It was going...
Ooh, that's a good one. Kids like to do that. They really like to get involved.
To be fun. Mr. Lee began, and he wrote on the board the first word in the game. The word was white, and
White.
he pronounced it white.
White.
And we responded
White.
with words like clean and pure and honest. And as Mr. Lee was noting...
And clouds. And cotton. Yeah.
...them on the board, we added more. Words like good, fair, and bright. And then it was time for Mr. Dragon to choose the next word in the game. He wrote down the word black, but he pronounced it black. Almost angrily, he said black.
Leading the children. Forcibly leading. White. Black. That's strange.
And we responded with words like scary, dark, and evil. He wrote down our answers as we tried to think of others. Words like empty or mean or dirty.
You know, you can be scared of the dark. When you think of black, you're not necessarily thinking about negroids. You're thinking about darkness, the unknown, things like that. And of course, we're playing word association. There's little games where I say up, and you go down, left, right. So what we've just done is force this on these kids. White, tell me some stuff. Cool. Now, opposite, black, and this to the kids. Let's continue.
And then we all got the surprise of our young lives. Our teachers were looking at the board, but then they turned to us, and Mr. Lee announced, "You're all racist."
Oh boy.
We were stunned. When one of the kids challenged them, he said, "I'm not a racist. I remember Mr. Lee saying something pretty close to, 'These are you kids' words, not ours.' And frankly, we're both disgusted with all of you."
No one was disgusted with the men trying to bait the children into a racist BS that they made up due to their own consciousness. No, now you're going to take kids that are very malleable and go, "Rickadoo!" and throw it into their mind and start the yip yip. Let's continue.
The game had obviously ended.
Oh no.
The classroom was silent, except for a couple of kids quietly crying. And for the rest of the day, and for the first time ever, we all got the silent treatment from Mr. Lee and Mr. Dragman. They were disgusted with our racism, and I never felt more ashamed of myself.
Be ashamed, whitey cracker leader of humanity and spaceman. You said black had something to do with scary. You bad.
And from that moment, I swore that I would change. From that day forward, I would believe that I am, by nature, a racist.
That day, black people decided they were going to quit being the stupid, idiot racists that they are towards whites and try to catch in like the original idea was long ago, and quit blaming whites on everything that happens to them, for none of it has to do with whites. Or let's just say that if you're still in America, it's always going to be this way, and so you can either go back to your land where you came from and try to get that place going worth the crap and make Wakanda, or you can be in America and stop ruining it from within and ruining your own people and making them the joke of humanity. Please? We'll just ask you, please. If you don't, we're going to keep giggling at you and making fun of you for the rest of humanity. But, please?
So I ask you now, what is real? I mean, if racism were a real issue, then why do public school teachers have to trick children into believing in it? It makes you wonder, what is real?
What is real?
Do you see race as anything other than the color of someone's skin?
I personally see race as the color of someone's skin.
It has nothing to do with what they believe and don't believe, where they came from, the heritage, history, everything that goes along with it. It's just color of skin. So in other words, pale white man, if there was a beach boy standing beside you and he was darker skinned, you would think less of him? Oh wait, it's not skin, it's a race of people that are different than these people. Not just in the fact that they're tanner. Nay.
The idea of race is strictly a social construct.
You noticed how he kind of leaded into that, winced his eyes, and said, now go with me on the lie here. Racial things, what we have figured out long ago in different people, different places, it's just made up by whitey we bad now. Oh, really? Okay. So black people say, black people are... Oh, hold on, did you just dissect yourself over there? We're not going to be able to get through this, are we? No. We're going to go back to exactly what it was. In fact, we never left, though you might in your mind thought that we did. Let's continue.
Oh, it's just a distasteful subject altogether to be making judgments or even observations about humans regarding their flesh tone or their body shape.
Scientists...
Really, it'd be disgusting to say, man, look at those black people jump and play basketball. Is that disgusting? No, it's only disgusting if you use it in a negative way. Oh, well, if you're using it in a negative way towards one, it'd have to be in a positive way towards the other. So imagine that whenever you say black people jump higher, it's negative towards all non-black people that they don't jump as high. But that's totally cool. Then we say, okay, well, what about spacemen and leading humanity? And they go, oh, the God! Yeah, okay.
Came through and proved that we're all the same.
So are you suggesting
No, we're not.
Then that race is more of a social construct?
Oh, absolutely. So
that term, that's whenever this really got going strong. Race is only a social construct where people, and you can't get that valid in your mind in any way, shape, or form. Race is not a social construct. Social constructs come from race. Let's get that straight. Whenever you have different ethnicities and people are acting in different ways, have different mentalities, different levels of IQ, and different levels of accomplishment, you're going to have different things going on. Whenever the less accomplished hate the ones that are more accomplished, is that normal? That may be normal in some way, shape, or form, but the only way you'll ever get through it all is to not be a disgusting hater and try to do something. For what you definitely are trying to do is mimic that now. And so you're mimicking the thing that you hate, or you supposedly hate. It's really just envy, and that makes disgust. See how this works?
So here's some more of that conventional wisdom regarding matters of race. The fact that the different races share between 90 to 98% of their DNA is accepted as proof that the races themselves are not real, but rather a social construct.
Yet we're almost the same amount with a banana and a tree, and I think anybody listening right now would be able to answer the question if I posed it to you, am I a tree? Thank you.
Now, it's very rude to point out the disconnect in that logic, mainly that the sexes, men and women, actually share more common DNA than is shared between the races. Yet no reasonable authorities are labeling the sexes as a social construct. In fact, the best example of a social construct I can think of is
not race, but racism and whining. And that's been a conversation about race. I invite you to continue this talk and this discussion, but know that whenever you try to talk, you have to have a standpoint and try to stand on your correct standpoint. from your point of view, from what everybody else can clearly see. Try not to delude yourself, for if you come into the conversation deluded, you will get nowhere, and it will make you into a clown circus by your own hand. Like, share, and subscribe, guys, and enjoy. And we'll get on. I just jumped on here, thought I'd see something, and of course this guy's saying some of the things that I've mentioned in other videos, which I started #1 with. And then I found this video, and I'm like, well,